Assalamualaikum. Good morning to everyone, especially Dr. Manjit. Today, I, Raja Fatih Nur Batisha binti Raja Muhammad, and my metric number 162295 will present about the comparison between French and German in terms of their use at local and international level. This presentation will divide it into several parts, which is the introduction, the local context, the international context, the conclusion, and then the references. First and foremost, let's talk about the introduction of French and German. French was a Roman language and came from the Indo-European language. It has about 76.8 million speakers around the world. The amount of the native and secondary speakers is 321 million in 2020. This language is usually spoken in several countries such as Europe, Africa, America, Canada, United States, and Caribbean. Let's move on to German. German is a West Germanic language and mainly spoken in Central Europe. It is also came from the same language family as French, which is the Indo-European language family, and have about 95 million speakers in 2014. The secondary speakers of this language is about 85 million in 2014. German language is mostly spoken in the Central Europe and the Europe Union. Let's move on to the next part. We are going to talk about the local use of French language. French, for your information, dialects are associated with geographical areas and are used by smaller number of speakers. Dialects should not be considered as inferior. Dialects also have their own characteristics, such as grammar, syntax, and so on. That makes them structurally indistinguishable from a language. For information, French itself is a dialect. Throughout history, the political authorities have used it as a tool of power. French was initially a language of the king, and for a long time, those who lead the country sought to prevent locals from using their regional language. The most common regional language spoken in France is the Breton. Breton is a Celtic language spoken by nearly 250,000 people around the world with a strong attachment to their tradition. For example, the word man is then or was, a woman is a plush or mouse. Drum also means water. Linguists estimate that there are about 75 regional languages in France. Some of these are taught in school, including the Occitan, Breton, Basque, Corsican, Alsatian, and also the 13 Melanesian languages such as Tahitian. Another well-known variation of French is the French Cantois accent, which is one of the country's least charming. Locals in this region pronounce the closed O sounds as a very open O and voice T sounds at the end of words. The O video bite sounds like O in the boat, for example, and number of the O in velo, which is bike, sounds more like the O in boat. For example, the number of winds, which is 20, is pronounced winter. Now we are going to talk about the international use of French language. French language is a world language, which is a leading world language. French is taught in university around the world and is one of the world's most influential language because of its wide use in world of journalism, jurisprudence, education, and diplomacy. In diplomacy, French is one of the 6 official languages of United Nations. United Nations, which is the and one of the UN Secretary's only two working language, one of 20 official and three procedural language of the European Union, and official language of NATO, International Olympic Committee, and the Council of Europe, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. French also working as a working language in non-profit organization, um, such as the Red Cross, English Amnesty International, and the more Médecins Sans Frontières. Next, I am going to share about the local use of German. We're going to talk about the dialect. Uh, German dialect is a traditional local varieties of the language. Many of them are not mutually intelligible with standard German, and they have great differences in lexicon, phonology, and syntax. German language continuum is traditionally divided broadly into High German and Low German, which is also called as Low Saxon. However, historical High German dialects and Low Saxon or Low German dialects do not belong to the same language. Middle Low German was a lingua franca of Hanseatic League. The early New High German language gained more prestige than Low German and became the language of science and literature. In Germany, Low Franconian dialects are spoken in the northwest of North Rhine-Westphalia along the Lower Rhine. The Low Franconian dialects spoken in German are referred to as Low Rhenish in the north of referred to the Low Rhenish. In the north of the German Low Franconian language area, North Low Franconian dialects are spoken. The High German dialects consist of a Central German, High Franconian Upper German dialect, High Franconian Upper German, High Franconian Upper, High German varieties are spoken by the Ashkenazi Jews, have several unique features, and are considered as a separate language, Yiddish written with the Hebrew alphabet. Next, I'm going to explain about the international use of German language. German language was a distribution as an official language is limited to several Central Europe countries. Germany have roughly 85 million inhabitants. Austria and Liechtenstein, Switzerland, 4 official languages. Luxembourg, 3 official languages, as well as the small areas of Belgium, which is a German-speaking community in the east, and Italy, the province of Bolzano in the South Tyrol. Next, German also taught as a foreign language all over the world in public school, which is 114 in countries in 2005, outside the area where it's the official language, and compared to the only 88 countries in 1983. The total of number of people who learning this language grew more slowly from 15.1 million in 1983 to 16.7 million in 2005. The number of countries offering German in school has risen to 119, but the total number of German learners is now around 14.5 million. Spread to more countries. German language also are spread to more countries such as Brazil, China, and also India. The number of native and second language speakers who speak German regularly estimate uh, the number of native speaker uh, the number of native and second language speakers who speak German is including the minorities and immigrants. 1,500 countries also offering the intensified teaching of German as a part of the school. As a conclusion, I could say that French and German came from the same language family, which is the Indo-European language family. French and German also have a big amount of speakers. These languages are part of world language. Both of these languages are mostly spoken in Europe. However, English is still the world lingua franca for the world. Next, French being one of the influential languages for a long time in many sectors. For instance, the diplomacy and education sector. It is also leading a vital language in the World Organization. Next, on the other hand, German in the other hand also plays the same important role as French. It has many type of German language, and also one of the language that most people choose to learn as a foreign language in the international level. And this is all my references for this presentation. That's all from me. Thank you.